We all hate standing charges. Paying 50, 60, 70 pence a day before you've even switched on a light just seems unfair. So recently, when Octopus announced a new tariff with lower standing charges, it sounded like exactly what we've been waiting for. But before you rush to switch, there are quite a few catches. You might not even be allowed to join, and even if you are, you could end up paying more, not less. So what exactly has Octopus launched? Who is it really for? And is this finally the answer to the standing charge problem? Let's find out. Let's start with why standing charges became such a big issue. A standing charge is a fixed amount you pay every day simply for having an electricity or gas connection. You pay it whether you use electricity or not. Now, for many people, it feels deeply unfair. If you work hard to reduce your energy consumption, you still pay it. If you install solar panels, you still pay it. If you bought a large battery system, you still pay it. And even if you're away on holiday and nobody is at home, you still pay it. That's why standing charges have become one of the biggest complaints I hear from viewers to this channel. So has Octopus abolished standing charges? Well, no. Now, this isn't a regular new tariff that we would normally expect from Octopus. This is a trial being run as part of Ofgem's work at looking at alternative tariff structures. Instead of paying quite so much as a fixed daily standing charge, some of the costs are moved onto the unit price, and that means you'll pay a little bit more for electricity and gas. So the costs haven't disappeared, they're simply being collected in a different way, and that's an important distinction. Now, when it comes to standing charges, there are two competing ideas here. One says that everybody connected to the network should contribute a fixed amount towards maintaining it. The others say people should pay based on how much energy they actually consume. Now, neither approach is perfect. If standing charges are very high, low-use users feel punished. If standing charges are reduced, higher-use users may end up paying more through increased unit rates. That's why Ofgem is running this trial. They want to find out who benefits, who loses, and whether customers understand exactly what they're signing up for. So who is this tariff really for? If you use very little electricity or gas, you might save money. Perhaps if you live alone, perhaps you spend long periods travelling away from your primary residence. Perhaps you own a holiday home, or perhaps you've worked hard to reduce your consumption. In those situations, paying less every day and more for each unit could work in your favour. But if you have a heat pump, charge an electric car, or simply use a lot of electricity, the higher unit price could quickly wipe out all of those savings. Now, for those of us with solar, the answer is it depends. If your solar and battery system has reduced your imports dramatically, you might be a good candidate. But remember that during the winter, you're still going to import energy. You may still import energy overnight to charge a battery, and every imported unit will cost you more. So don't assume that a lower standing charge tariff automatically means a lower bill. The only way to know is to do the maths using your own annual consumption figures. Now, heat pump owners need to be particularly careful. A heat pump is super efficient. It uses very little electricity for the heat that it generates, but it will still increase your annual electricity consumption. If every imported kilowatt hour costs you more, those extra winter imports when it's really cold could outweigh the standing charge savings. Exactly the same applies to electric car owners. If you import 5 or 6,000 kilowatt hours a year, even a small increase in the unit price can add up quickly. So for many households, whether it's with a heat pump or an electric car, this tariff could actually increase your energy bill. Now, Octopus have produced an information page on their website which I will obviously link in the description below. But one thing that surprised me is there is a minimum annual usage requirement just to join the trial. That means that people using almost no energy are not necessarily allowed to join. Now, this is not a nationwide new tariff. It's a controlled trial designed to help Ofgem understand how different households respond to a different way of charging for energy. So, have they fixed the standing charge problem? Personally, I don't think that's what's happened here. The costs haven't gone away. The electricity network still needs to be maintained. Meters still need to be provided, and suppliers still have operating costs. The question has never really been about whether those costs exist. The question is how we recover them fairly. This trial changes who pays those costs and how they're collected, but it doesn't mean the costs have gone away. So is this the tariff we've all been waiting for? Well, probably not. The reality is this is such a limited trial that only a small number of people will be allowed to join it. I think for most people, certainly people who view this channel, who have solar and batteries and heat pumps and EVs, the likelihood is you will not qualify to join this trial. Now, if you are accepted onto it, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to know, has it actually reduced your energy bills? Because for some households, it is possible. For many others, it probably isn't. The important number is not the standing charge. It's what is your total energy bill at the end of the year? Sometimes paying more every day and less for each unit actually works out cheaper in the long run. Now, sometimes the opposite is true, and I'm sure for some users that will be important. So if you are considering this and you meet the eligibility criteria to join, please, please, please make sure you run the numbers against your previous year's consumption. Now, I would genuinely love to hear from anyone who is on this tariff or is thinking of going onto this tariff. Would you rather pay a higher standing charge and less for each unit of electricity? Or would you rather a much lower standing charge and a higher unit rate? Let me know in the comments below. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, a like and subscribe would be greatly appreciated. And if I'm lucky, I will see you back here real soon for another video. Take care. Bye-bye.